Mitochondria, the key to energy, what damages it, and steps to improve it. What is mitochondria? Mitochondria is considered the powerhouse of the cells, or energy generators. They actually came from ancient bacteria and evolved into mitochondria. We have thousands of mitochondria per cell depending on the type of tissue. They generate ATP, which is your body's energy currency, and make up about 1/3 of your body weight. We also got about all the mitochondria from our mother. How to improve the mitochondria? Think of your body as a battery, and the mitochondria are involved in everything that you do. Disease at a cellular level begins in the mitochondria. What damages the mitochondria? Sugar. Sugar damages the mitochondria because it damages the metabolism. Also, it damages cellular respiration. Sugar also causes reactive oxygen species, ROS, which generates inflammation. Deuterium. Now, this is a stable isotope of hydrogen, and it also has twice as heavy as hydrogen. In water, there's about 150 ppm of deuterium. When we have too much deuterium, it actually clogs the nanomotors of the mitochondria. You can actually deplete your deuterium levels naturally via fasting or ketosis. You also can drink deuterium depleted water to lower your deuterium levels. Now, this is a very effective way, but it's not always necessary. A great brand is Light Water. 6 practices to improve your mitochondria. Number 1 is water. So what are the roles that water plays? So it is in charge of maintaining your DNA, facilitates your reactions in the mitochondria like generation of ATP. Blood is about 90% water and is required to remove waste. It is required to move the lymphatic system. Now, this is the foundation of the immune system, transporting waste and immune cells throughout the body. Synovial fluid requires water to function properly. Water acts as a superhighway to transport hormones and neurotransmitters throughout the entire body. So how to get high quality water? Number 1 is springs. This is the most optimal form of water, bar none. This is the cleanest, most vibrant water that exists and has gone through the hydrological cycle. You go to findaspring.com to find a spring near you. Reverse osmosis. Now, reverse osmosis is by far the best method of filtering tap water. This works to stimulate the Earth's natural hydrological cycle by putting water through a semi-permeable membrane that filters out everything down to CO2. The filter goes down to 0.001 microns. Bacteria is 0.4 microns. This leaves you with very clean water, but there's a problem. This leaves you with pure H2O, which doesn't exist in nature. In nature, water always has minerals in it. It's alive. Drinking water without minerals is not necessarily good for your body because it actually requires minerals in order to process, which means that it can actually take minerals from your own body. Also, many under-the-counter tanks can fill with bacteria over time if they're not cleaned, which means that many people don't actually know this. So the solution would be to add minerals back to the water via a good quality sea salt or liquid mineral drops. This will liven up the water. Also, countertop reverse osmosis filter will be much easier to clean, so you don't have to have the bacteria issue. AquaTrue makes a great one. Also, they have an under the sink version, which is a novel cleaning solution. Number 2 is minerals. Now, this coincides with water itself because it's very conductive due to mineral content. And pure H2O does not exist in nature anywhere, and water always has minerals dissolved into it. So what are the benefits of salt? There's a difference between sodium and salt. Even though they are lumped in the same category, salt, among many things, contains electrolytes, such as magnesium, sodium, and potassium. These are responsible for signal transduction or sending messages throughout the entire body. Sodium is required to maintain proper fluid balance in the brain. Research done at McGill University shows that sodium functions as an on-off switch in the brain for neurotransmitters. Now, this is very protective of the brain. Also, it's very important for the muscle contractions. About 80% of the sodium that people are taking is in the form of processed foods. There is often excess sodium in these foods, and it comes along with sugar and other processed ingredients. When we see research on people and sodium, they don't often take this into account and other things in the food. Sodium also helps regulate blood pressure. When people have high blood pressure, the force of that blood is damaging to the blood vessels and the cardiovascular system overall. Researchers at Harvard concluded that low sodium or salt intake is actually linked to insulin resistance in test subjects. All salt supports healthy hormone functions because they are dependent on these minerals. Now, what to look for in salt? You can look for Celtic salt, which is harvested in the Brittany region of France. They use solar evaporation for the salt. There are 3 different types of Celtic salt. You got light gray, fine ground, and flour of the sea. Light gray is, of course, moist salt, and it gets color from the clay lining of the pans. Fine ground is dried at low temperature. Then ground flour of the ocean is when they take the skim of the crystals of the brine so they can have actually smaller and more delicate minerals. The flavor is excellent and the mineral profile is enhanced. This particular sea salt has over 80 minerals and trace minerals. All Celtic salt has an exquisite flavor. Redmond real salt. Now, this is from Redmond, Utah. There used to be a sea called Sudden Sea, and after it dried up, it left a huge, pristine underground salt deposit. There are also microplastics in most salts, but not this one, because it actually contains salt from an ancient seabed, long before plastic existed, and also is very mineral rich. Himalayan sea salt. Now, this is mixed and mined in Pakistan. It comes from the eminence of ancient seabeds. Now, the salt is made into big salt rocks and then further processed. This is salty and mineral rich as well. It's particularly high in iron. Himalayan salt has an earthy taste. I do not recommend it as much anymore because a lot of them are contaminated with microplastics. Number 3 is sunlight. Now, sunlight has largely been vilified by the media. People are afraid of the sun. This is a reality that most people who rarely go out in the sun are the greatest risk of skin cancer, because people who generally go in the sun and gradually do it build their exposure and have very low risk of skin cancer. The benefits of sunlight are enormous. It's responsible for synthesis of vitamin D, lowers blood pressure, and increases nitric oxide efficiency of the heart, regulates cholesterol, generates ATP, and influences countless other hormones and neurotransmitters. How do we optimize light? We get as much light in the morning as possible. Now, this helps set your circadian rhythm and increases serotonin. Don't overuse sunglasses and sunscreen. Sunglasses block out much of the sun, thus blocking out the beneficial effects. Sunlight through the eyes actually stimulates the skin to produce melanin, where sunglasses only when it's necessary, or at a party or on occasion. Sunscreen often contains carcinogenic compounds, ironically. Now, it has been having its place in certain instances, but look for a natural version containing zinc oxide. Avoid artificial light at night. During the day, they often contain light that is not full spectrum and has an abnormal amount of blue light. Blue light at night especially disrupts the circadian rhythm. Use incandescent bulbs instead of LEDs and fluorescents. Look for a high CRI, color rendering index. This is the ability to reflect natural light accordingly. Look at a CRI of 97 or higher. Incandescent bulbs have 100. The other thing to look for is degrees Kelvin. Now, the sun is 5,500 degrees Kelvin generally. Many LEDs have higher degrees than this. And look for bulbs that are about 300K or below. The other thing to consider is the flicker rate. Now, LEDs operate digitally using pulse width modulation, PWM. Now, or the lights switching on and off fully from full intensity to low intensity over and over again. This is called a flicker. Even if you can't perceive it, this is happening unconsciously and your retina does. Now, this is called flicker. Even so, the research shows that this causes retina damage and cell death. Incandescent bulbs don't have this issue. Use photobiomodulation when necessary. Now, PBM is the use of light therapy devices. Many of us, especially in the winter months, do not get enough light. Infrared and red has been heavily researched for nitric oxide, blood flow, stem cells, endocrine function, kidney function, and skin health. These light frequencies are between 750 and 1200 nanometers of light. I use the Juve light, and as many other experts actually recommend that as well. Use light dims and iris software. Now, light dims are dark stickers that you can put over artificial light sources in your home. For example, the lights of the dishwasher or other appliances. You can use these at light dims at truedark.com. Iris Tech software is a software that computer takes out the blue light of the screen and also modulates the flicker rate of the screen. This will make the screen much easier on your eyes and overall health. Some people use Flex software. This has benefits, but Iris has much more features. Number 4 is earthing. Now, earthing is a practice connected to the earth. It involves being connected via the skin, usually feet, standing, and conductive sources like the grass, sand, water, snow, and asphalt. This can have a tremendous amount of health benefits. Up until recent times, our ancestors have been connected to the earth 24/7. Now we are pretty much disconnected from the earth 24/7. Humans are conductive beings because of our mineral content. Now, this is why we can be shocked, and doctors use EKGs and EEGs, which measures electricity of the brain and the heart that it puts out. Earth itself is very conductive and is brimming with free electrons. A free radical is essentially an unpaired electron, and for it to be neutralized, it requires a free electron. Now, this is what the Earth is brimming with, and because we're conductive, it's been shown that we actually can take these from the Earth by just being connected to it. Now, we also have to talk about getting antioxidants through food. Yes, do that, but that doesn't really compare to actually getting the source from where it comes from. How to start earthing? It's a good idea to do this 20-30 minutes a day to get the benefits. The term earthing actually used for being connected to the earth, while grounding is referring to technology to accomplish this. Earthing is always better, but technology has its place. There's a variety of technologies out there for sleep mats, patches, and standing mats. A lot of them on the market are not very effective and sometimes not safe. Low quality materials will off-gas, causing other health issues. Now, the one company that I know does a good job to do this is Ultimate Longevity. They make a great mat with high quality materials and actually comes with the way to see if the mat is grounded. There's also grounded straps that connect to the shoes and are grounded shoes themselves. Number 5 is cold therapy. Cold therapy is a hormetic stressor, which is something you do in the short term to make you more resilient in the long term. There are many hormetic stressors, but today I'm going to focus on cold therapy. Cold therapy is a process of using cold showers, ice baths, and cold plunges to train your nervous system to be more resilient to stress. This is not just to relate to cold temperatures, but this will carry over in other areas of life. Number 6, heat therapy. Sauna is a great way to engage in heat therapy. Sauna benefits include detoxification of skin health. Saunas are a great way to detox and promote sweat. Now, many toxins that you're exposed to are stored in fat cells or adipose tissue. When your body heats up with the sauna, these toxins are readily available to eliminate. Muscular maintenance. Now, heat exposure has been shown to increase muscle hypertrophy or the gain of muscle growth and mass. It also helps you keep the muscle better without exercising. Sauna exposure causes thermal stress in the body, which causes the body to release heat shock proteins to increase cellular antioxidant capacity and enhance mitochondrial function. Insulin sensitivity. Saunas have been shown to increase insulin sensitivity. Now, insulin is the body's main energy storing hormone. Having cells that insulin sensitive means having a healthy blood glucose response. The way that it works is actually by increasing blood glucose in the short term, but long term you have more stable response. Immune system health. Saunas cause hypothermia in the body, which stimulates a fever to activate the immune system. Also, I mentioned that it activates heat shock proteins, which stimulates the innate and adaptive immune system. Saunas boost nitric oxide as well. The molecule is great for defending against infectious disease. Brain health. Now, saunas cause heat release of beta endorphins, which are opioid-like peptides. Now, you're also producing diorphins, which is the opposite of endorphins. So in a way that you feel discomfort in the short term, you actually lead to more sensitive to pleasure in the long term. Diorphins also help with adaptation to heat. Now, the heat shock proteins help you produce brain-derived nootropic factor, which is also known to enhance mood. Now, BDNF is a neuroprotective and stimulates neurogenesis, which is creation of new neurons. Cardiovascular health. Saunas have similar benefits of heart disease in terms of exercise. Now, some of the benefits are improved endothelial function, improved blood pressure, enhanced circulation. These also have been shown to dramatically reduce the risk of heart disease. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning into the show. For more, you can head over to anthonygastella.com for articles, coaching, and other free resources. Also, if you can, leave a review for the show, let people know what you think, and I would appreciate that so much. Support the mission of freedom. Thanks for being on this mission with me, and I promise to give you more powerful, empowering, great content to help transform your life. Thanks for tuning in.